Alright, Bonehawks, this video is all about the wake-up game in Mortal Kombat 11. As the defender, as the one that gets knocked down, there's a lot to know about this. So I want to thank and shout out Lucid Phoenix, who said, "Hey Dink, what's an Oki and what's a meaty?" And those are both going to be factors that we're talking today about the whole wake-up game in general. So buckle up, grab some coffee or some water or whatever you're into. I don't judge. Tea, maybe? Because we're getting into it.
Accept your death.
So what is Oki? Oki is actually a term short for Okizeme, and it describes the whole scenario of getting off the ground. So really, Okizeme just starts as soon as that happens. It's not a thing. It's not like its own like move or anything like that. It's more of like a theory around it. So like Oki, what's the Oki here? What's for breakfast? Some people might say. So don't think of Oki as actually a thing. More of like a theory around how you're getting up off the ground. So that's Oki out of the way. I feel like this is pretty cut and dry. If you have questions, let me know. So let's get the first option out of the way as far as offense goes, and this is what's called a meaty. I have no idea why it's called this. I haven't bothered to look up the history behind that, but that's what it's called. So basically, a meaty is when you time an attack to hit your opponent just as they're able to be hit right off the ground. They really can't do anything other than just block. That's all they can really do. If you time your meaty right, they can't get armor out. They can't get whatever. Not in all situations. I'll talk about that. But yeah, like their Fatal Blow armor would get stuffed. The only thing they could do is an up 3, which is armored. But a meaty is definitely just like timing a move as they're getting out of their recovery from being knocked down and able to block again. So that's important for a couple reasons. It's a very good way to keep things going. If you have a character that has plus frames, like Frost, for example, trying to time your meaty on the on like your 2-2 or whatever, just should try and make it a mid at least. That's because yeah, if you do a high as a meaty, if they wake up with a poke, that will hit you out of your high, of course. So that's the meaty. That's basically what it is. That's one option that you have on the offense as far as defending. So the rest of this is going to be pretty basic stuff if you're fairly familiar to this game, but if you're newer, you might find this really helpful. So let's go over all the options that you have to get off the ground. So I'm going to go over every option and just kind of tell you the pros and cons of everything. So we're starting with our up 3, up A or up X on PlayStation. This move is fully invincible. You cannot be hit out of it. It's a single hit, though, so it's just one hit. Let's see if I can show you kind of what Katana's looks like here. So if Liu Kang tries to go in with that meaty strategy that we just talked about, that will get beat out by this, because that's just, you can't do anything about it. Downside to it is that it is just a single hit, so there's not a whole lot of damage to it. Second downside to it is that it can be read a little bit. So let's get up mode. So the read on the offense to this would be either to step back or jump, because there's recovery on that where you can't block. So if they read you're going to do that, and they can jump at you. Now, this is where option 2 comes in, which this is your up 2. Which is not invincible, so keep that in mind. But it is a combo launcher and can actually read jump-ins at times. Every character's is different, so you want to kind of explore with your characters a little bit. In Katana's case, it would work fantastic. See what I did there? To counter jump-in read on Liu Kang. So let's set the AI to fanning out. We're going to jump. Oh, look at that. So you've covered that option. So that's where the reads kind of come in. And you can get hit out of it, though. So look there. This one is not invincible. So if Liu Kang goes in for the meaty, you're dead. If Liu Kang goes for the jump in, he's dead. So there's kind of the mix there, right? Just keep in mind as well that this does cost meter. If you haven't noticed already, you'll see it in the bottom right there. It uses 1 bar of offense and 1 bar of defense to do this. So knowing where your meter is very important when it comes to this, because you have options, but you just want to make sure, like, if you go and try and do this and you don't have meter, you're just going to jump in the air, or you're just going to get hit and it's going to be GG's, shake my hand kind of thing. So those are the first two options that we have. So again, one's completely invincible and one's a combo launcher. Keep that in mind. So the next option is rolls. You can either roll forward or you can roll backwards. If we knock Katana down, we have her set to roll forward. So where this would be advantageous for you is if Liu Kang went for the meaty, you've rolled, now he's committed to his attack on the other side, and you can hit him out of it. Boom. See? Just like that. The downside to rolls is you can get thrown out of them. So watch this. Boom. So that's the counter to a roll. If you think your opponent is going to roll, or your opponent's just been roly-poly-oly all over the place, just going to knock him down, hit him with a throw. And this is where it gets really scary, because some command grabs actually have a requirement that you will get a crushing blow if they read a roll. Let me show you an example of that. So we have our spiky boy Baraka here, and we're going to knock Kano down, and then we have a command grab. Command grab counts as the throw, and it's going to crushing blow because you decided to do a wake-up roll, and then he gets 100 tick damage after that. So important to note, for a roll, it only costs 1 bar of defensive meter. So your offensive meter is fine. Your defense meter, you're going to take a little bit of a hit. See it in the corner there? I won't do that just so I can show that off a little bit more. And then you can also roll forward or backwards. So for example, forward roll would be really good if, say, you're in the corner. We want to be on the left. Boom, now your opponent's in the corner. I wouldn't really roll backwards in the corner. That's like a big brain read. I don't know what you would be reading there, but yeah. So those are your options there. So you have forward roll, backup roll. It only takes 1 bar of defensive meter. Finally, you can just good old-fashioned wake-up buttons. So if we set Baraka here, knock us down, he's going to read a roll, so he's going to move backwards. We're going to wake up. Boom! Caught him. So this is where, as a defender, there's just so many different options. Like, when you get knocked down, it's a scary place to be on the offense, so you got to be careful about that, especially depending on where you are on the map. So that's basically it. That's the, I guess you could wake up jump too. I guess that's technically wake up buttons though too, so yeah. Those are kind of some ideas and some theory about how to mix up your opponent when they knock you down. You have the advantage as the defender, so don't forget that. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, just let me know down in the comment section down below. I love to help. I love teaching. I love making all these videos for you. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like because it really helps me out. And subscribe if you haven't, because I make new videos almost every single day. Hashtag Bonehawks, all that stuff, and we'll see all you Bonehawks in the next video.
Accept your death.